So while in Egypt, Herodotus was told a story of a thief who stole from the king. But when the king managed to get him, instead of punishing him, he rewarded him. And, and, and it's for a particular reason that I'm going to give you. Let me tell you the story so that. So the story goes that there was this king called Rhampsinitus, or yes, Rhampsinitus. So Rhampsinitus was among the very first kings of Egypt. And he became extremely wealthy, and the priest at the temple told Herodotus that no other king before him and after him matched his wealth. He was extremely wealthy, and so the king, because he had a lot of wealth, he decided to build something like a vault where he would keep his coins, gold and silver, and anything else of value that he had. So he hired this guy to build the vault. And this guy was a well-known builder, engineer. So this guy went ahead and designed the vault, and he built the vault. But while doing so, he decided to do something else. He created a loophole that he can use to come and steal the treasure. So he designed this one stone that could be removed from the wall, and then somebody can get inside and take money. So, but he built the vault. It was a well-built vault, and then it had seals for locking, so nobody could get in without the permission of the king. And the vault was ready, and the king took his wealth, gold and silver and other valuable items, and he put them in the vault and sealed it, locked it. So the engineer had the plans of coming to steal, but he didn't. Seems like years went by, and he didn't decide to take advantage of the weakness he had created in the vault. So, but then he became sick, very sick, and he was about to die. And he called his sons, two sons, and he told them what he had done. He told them, "You see, the king's vault, I had created a loophole. There is this stone that one can go and remove and get in and steal and get the money inside, and nobody will notice. So, and I did that for you guys." So, and he died. After his death, the sons did not take very long. They went at night, and they went where he told them the stone was. They, in fact, found that it's possible to remove the stone. They got in, they took an amount of silver and gold, and they left, and they returned the stone where it was. So when the king came, he checked around. He was surprised that the coins were not the same amount he had left. And he was confused because all the seals were okay, nothing had been tampered with, except that the amount of his treasure was not the same. And then this continued to happen for a while. These guys, seems like the way Herodotus tells the story is like these guys, or the way he was told the story, and then he tells us the story in his book. It's like these guys became a little bit greedy. They were taking a lot more than maybe they should not have. So the king was frustrated, like, there's somebody stealing my wealth, there's somebody stealing my coins, and I don't know who, and I'm puzzled as to how they are able to get into the vault and steal while the seals seems not to have been broken at any time. So, but then he asked somebody to build traps. So somebody built a trap, and they put it inside the vault. And then the two brothers came at night, like they usually came, and they removed the stone, and one of them got in, and the guy who got in was captured by the snare, the trap, caught him. And he called his brother, and he told him, "I've been caught by a trap. So it seems like there's no way I can get myself out of this." So what you should do is to cut my head and go with it, because if you leave me like this, then they are going to identify me, and then they are going to get to you and our family, and we will all be in trouble. So that's what the brother did. He cut off his brother's head and left. So in the morning, the king comes into the vault and he's shocked to find a body, but the body has no head. So he can't even identify who this person is. But the king was so angry, and he wanted to know who this person is and their family, because it's like he was wanted to really punish them for stealing from him for a very long time. And so he ordered his soldiers to hang the body um, on a busy street, so everybody will know about the body. So the body was hung there, and then he assigned some soldiers to watch the body, and he gave them the instructions that if anybody comes, I just want you to be very careful and see how people who pass by react when they see the body. If you see somebody kind of mourning or um, kind of lamenting, like they look like their family, just capture that person and bring them to me. So the soldiers stood guard, and now the mom of the thief whose body was hanging heard about this. Of course, she knew it was her son, and she was very distraught. She was very disturbed, and she told the remaining son, please, I want you to turn yourself in, because I can't stand it that your brother's body is hanging on the street and everybody's passing by and seeing it. I want you to go and tell the king it is you who went with him to steal, so that we can have that body brought down and buried. And this guy initially tried to persuade the mom, like, no, that's not a good idea, but the mom was adamant, and the mom told him, if you don't do it, I'm going to the king myself, and I'm going to tell the king what you people did. And the brother told the mom, okay, the son told the mom, okay, don't worry, I'll find a way to bring the body home. And he came up with a plan. So he got a lot of wine. They used to use skins to hold wine, like if you've seen some of the, you can call it primitive tribes, they will kill a goat and they have a way to skin it so that the skin comes out intact, and then it's just tied on some parts, and then it becomes a container that can carry liquid. So he had several skins of wine, and he got like 3 donkeys, and he put these skins of wine on them like he was a trader, somebody going to sell wine or transporting wine from one point to another. And he passed through the place where his brother's body was hanging, and there was soldiers there on guard. And when he reached close to them, he somehow untied some of the skin so that the wine started pouring on the ground. And he was walking next to them, and the wine is pouring, and they are looking at him, and he starts acting like he's angry, like what happened, he's frustrated, he's trying to tie the skins back so that the wine does not flow, and he just looks like a business person who is kind of losing his property on the road. And these people seem to have been they really wanted wine, because they rushed with containers and started collecting or tapping kind of the wine that was flowing to the ground. And then he managed to tie the skins, and then he's trying to insult them for stealing his wine, and then they are talking to him, and then somehow they start having this conversation about whatever, cheap talk, and then they kind of became friendly, and they started talking to them, and he's like, you know what, I can give you 1 skin of the wine, you take. And he gives them one skin of the wine, and he start having chat with them. These guys drink and drink and drink until they are so drunk, and they can't they like completely, they're off. And what he does, he shaves one side of their head and beard, and he just wanted to embarrass the king basically. And he left them there, and then he brought down the body of his brother, put it on the donkeys, and he left. And the king heard about this and he was even more angry. Like, who does that? Like, I had these guys to guard the body. And this guy is smart enough to come and take the body. He was so angry. Then, so he came with another plan to capture this person who stole the body. So he told his beautiful daughter to go and decide basically to sleep with men from the town. Any man, because she was the king's daughter, men of course were like, yeah. So, but he told her, every man you meet in private, ask them to tell you the weakest and the most, like the worst crime they've ever done. Yeah. So the guy who stole the body was aware of this and he knew, and he also came up with his own plan. He decided to go to the king's daughter, and he went there, and like she had done with every other man, she asked him, so what is the weirdest or the biggest crime you've ever done in your life? And before this guy came, he had gone and looked for a dead body, human body, cut one of its arm, and he came up with it, and he had tied it to himself like it's one of his arms, and he had hidden his own arm in his dress. So the king had told the daughter that whoever comes, hold their hands. If they tell you that they are the ones who stole from me and stole the body from me, you hold their hands and don't let go until the soldiers around come and get them. So this guy knew about this plan, so he went with his arm that was not his, but his was hidden in the dress. So he told her the truth. You know, the worst crime I've done, the weirdest thing, you know, I went and stole from the king, and my brother was caught, and then I took his head, and then they hung my brother in public, and I came and I gave the soldiers wine, and they got so drunk, and I stole the body. And the daughter was like, yeah, this is the person my dad is looking for. So she got hold of the hand, but the hand was not his. He ran away. So the king heard about this, and at this point is now not just angry, but he starts to be being curious about this guy who's playing these games with him. So he sent out a message to all citizens, please tell this person to come. I wanted to punish him, but I'm not going to punish him. Let him come. So this guy went to the king, and the king kept his word, and the king said the Egyptians excelled all the rest of the world in wisdom, and this man excelled all other Egyptians. So as I've said in other videos, Egyptians had this view of themselves as being the wisest people in the world, and yeah, not on the other people also saw them that way. So the king was basically saying, we are the smartest people in the world, but the Egyptians are the smartest people in the world, but this guy is like the smartest of all Egyptians, so I shouldn't punish him. In fact, he let him marry his daughter.